The conference room at Meridian Community Bank was too warm, and my sister Lauren's perfume was giving me a headache. I'd been sitting here for 20 minutes while she and her husband Jason pitched their dream of buying a lake house. So you see, Mr. Patterson, Lauren said to the loan officer, her smile bright, we're actually quite financially stable. Jason's contracting business is growing, I have my boutique, and we have family support. David Patterson, a man in his 50s with tired eyes, looked skeptical. Mrs. Chen, your application shows significant existing debt. 2 car loans, credit card balances totaling $63,000, and your primary mortgage. Adding a second property seems ambitious. That's why we brought Megan, Jason said, gesturing to me like I was a prize they'd won. Our financial backup. I'd been staring out the window watching cars pass on the street below. Now I turned to face them. I'm sorry, what? Your sister is here to co-sign, Lauren said to Patterson as if this had been discussed. She works in finance, has excellent credit, and she's always helped us before. I never agreed to co-sign anything. Lauren's smile didn't waver. Don't be difficult, Meg. We talked about this. We absolutely did not. Last month at Mom's birthday, I mentioned we were looking at lake houses and you said, that sounds nice. That's not agreeing to co-sign a mortgage. She'll co-sign, she owes us. Lauren announced confidently, looking back at Patterson. I helped Megan so much when we were younger. She was such an awkward teenager. I taught her how to dress, do makeup, talk to people. Without me, she'd still be a complete mess. This is just her paying back all those years of help. Patterson looked uncomfortable. Ms. Megan, I need explicit consent to run your credit and add you as a co-borrower. Your sister can't authorize that. Which is why we brought her, Jason said. Megan, come on. We need this. The lake house is perfect for family gatherings. Your nephew and niece would love it. I looked at my sister. At 34, she was still the golden child. Beautiful, confident, married with 2 kids. Everything Mom and Dad had wanted. I was 31, single, career-focused, which was family code for disappointingly unmarried, and generally treated as the successful failure. I'm not co-signing, I said. Megan, seriously? Lauren's smile finally cracked. After everything I've done for you? You mean the makeup tips 13 years ago? That's worth co-signing $200,000 in debt. Don't be petty. Family helps family. I helped you when you needed it, now you help me. I've given you $8,000 for your boutique startup. $12,000 when Jason's contracting business had cash flow issues. $5,000 for the kids' private school tuition. That's $25,000, Lauren. None of it paid back. Her face flushed. That was different. That was family support, not loans. And this is a mortgage, not family support. Patterson cleared his throat. Perhaps we should reschedule when everyone has had time to discuss. No, Lauren cut him off. We need to lock in this rate. Megan, stop being selfish. Just sign the papers. I don't see any papers. Lauren reached into her bag and pulled out a folder, sliding it across the table. Here. I had our lawyer draw up a co-signer agreement. All you have to do is sign. I opened the folder. Inside was a mortgage application, a co-signer agreement, and a credit authorization form. All with my personal information already filled in. Social security number. Employment history. Current address. You filled this out without my permission? I knew you'd help once you understood how important this is. I looked at Patterson. Did you process this application? Not yet. Your sister submitted preliminary paperwork, but I can't proceed without your authorization. Which you won't get. Mr. Patterson, I need to report that my personal information has been used without my consent. Megan. Lauren's voice rose. What are you doing? Protecting myself from fraud. It's not fraud, it's family. Mom and Dad would be so disappointed in you right now. Do Mom and Dad know you forged my information on loan applications? Silence. Jason spoke up. We didn't forge anything. We just filled out the forms to save time. You were going to say yes anyway. That's not how consent works. You're being ridiculous, Lauren said. Over some paperwork? Really? I stood up. Mr. Patterson, I'd like to speak with your supervisor about this situation. Sit down, Megan, Lauren hissed. You're embarrassing us. I'm embarrassing you? You committed identity fraud and I'm the embarrassment. It's not identity fraud. You're my sister. We share everything. We don't share credit reports. Patterson stood awkwardly. I'll get my manager. Excuse me. He left the conference room. Through the glass walls, I could see him approach a woman in her 50s. They spoke briefly, then both looked toward our conference room. The woman's eyes widened slightly when she saw me. Then she smiled and headed our way. Oh great, Lauren muttered. Now you've escalated this. Are you happy? The woman entered the conference room. Hello, I'm Margaret Walsh, branch president. I understand there's a concern about unauthorized use of personal information. Yes, I said. My sister submitted loan applications using my information without my knowledge or consent. Margaret looked at Lauren and Jason, then at the paperwork on the table. She picked up the forms and reviewed them, her expression neutral. These documents show Ms. Megan's complete financial information. Ms. Lauren, how did you obtain this information? She's my sister. I've known her social security number since we were kids. We're family, this is normal. It's not normal, Margaret said firmly. This is identity fraud. Ms. Megan, I apologize that this happened at our institution. Finally, someone reasonable, I said. Of course. This is absolutely unacceptable. She looked at Lauren and Jason. Your mortgage application is denied. Furthermore, I'm flagging your accounts for potential fraud investigation. What? Jason stood up. You can't do that. I absolutely can. Using someone's personal information without consent is a crime. She's overreacting. Lauren said. Megan, tell her you're not pressing charges. Tell her this was a misunderstanding. It wasn't a misunderstanding. You committed fraud. We're family. Which makes it worse, not better. Margaret looked at me. Ms. Megan, I have to ask, are you the Chen who owns Pinnacle Financial Group? The room went silent. Yes, I said quietly. The Pinnacle Financial Group? Margaret's expression shifted to something like awe. The private equity firm that just acquired the North Star portfolio? That's correct. Lauren's face went pale. What is she talking about? Ms. Megan, Margaret continued, I don't know if you're aware, but Pinnacle Financial Group is the majority shareholder of Meridian Community Bank's parent company. You're effectively my boss's boss's boss. I smiled slightly. I'm aware. The color drained completely from Lauren's face. You own this bank? Not directly. My company owns 58% of the holding company that owns this bank and 43 others in the region. Since when? Since 18 months ago. We acquired the portfolio as part of a distressed asset purchase. Jason sat down heavily. You're a CEO? I'm the founder and managing partner, yes. But you work at an accounting firm. I haven't worked at an accounting firm in 6 years. I left to start my own investment company. We manage $340 million in assets. Lauren's mouth opened and closed. How do we not know this? Because every time I tried to talk about my work, you changed the subject. Every time I mentioned business deals, you said I was boring everyone. Every time I had career news, you said, that's nice, and talked about your boutique instead. You let us think you were struggling. I never said I was struggling. You assumed I was because I didn't show off. I drive a practical car, live in a modest condo, don't post my life on Instagram. You decided that meant I was failing. Margaret was watching this exchange with fascination. Miss Chen, Megan, would you like me to handle this situation or would you prefer to address it yourself? What does that mean? Lauren asked nervously. It means, I said, that not only is your lake house mortgage denied, but every account you have with Meridian Community Bank is now under review for fraud concerns. You can't do that. Actually, she can, Margaret said. Attempted identity fraud is grounds for immediate account closure. This is insane, Jason said. Over a misunderstanding? It's not a misunderstanding. You filled out loan applications with my personal information without permission. That's textbook identity fraud. We're family. Lauren said again like it was a magic word that made everything legal. Family doesn't forge signatures. Family doesn't commit fraud. Family doesn't treat each other like ATMs while calling them failures. We never called you a failure. You called me awkward, boring, socially hopeless. You said I was lucky you helped me become presentable. You treated every dollar I gave you like I owed you for existing in your life. And now you're angry because I won't let you steal my identity. Lauren's eyes filled with tears. I can't believe you're doing this to me. After I've been such a good sister. A good sister doesn't commit fraud. Ms. Lauren, Mr. Jason, Margaret said crisply, I'm terminating this meeting. Your mortgage application is permanently denied. You'll receive written notification about the status of your other accounts within 5 business days. I suggest you retain legal counsel. Legal counsel? Jason's voice cracked. Identity fraud is a criminal matter. Whether charges are filed depends on Ms. Megan's decision. They both looked at me with a mixture of fear and rage. Megan, please, Lauren said. Think about what you're doing. Think about the family. Mom and Dad will be devastated. Mom and Dad watched you treat me like your personal piggy bank for years and said nothing. They celebrated every dollar you took and every insult you gave. We can fix this. I'll apologize, we'll pay you back. You've said that before. After every family support payment. You've never paid back a single dollar. Because we thought you could afford it. And now you know I can. So let me be very clear. You will never get another dollar from me. Your accounts at this bank and every other bank my company owns will be flagged. If you use my information again, I'll prosecute. If you contact me for money, I'll block you. If you send flying monkeys from the family, I'll block them too. You're destroying this family over money, Lauren said, her voice trembling. No. You destroyed this family when you decided I was a resource instead of a person. I turned to Margaret. Thank you for your time. Please send me the full report on this incident. Of course. And Miss Chen, it's an honor to meet you in person. The work Pinnacle has done in distressed asset recovery has been remarkable. Thank you. I grabbed my bag and walked toward the door. Megan, wait. Lauren called after me. I turned back. The mortgage application is dead. The relationship is dead. Don't contact me again. 3 days later, I was in my actual office, a corner suite in the Pinnacle Financial Building downtown, when my assistant buzzed. Your mother is here. She doesn't have an appointment. I sighed. Send her in. Mom entered wearing her best guilt trip expression. Megan, we need to talk about what you did to your sister. What I did. She committed fraud. She made a mistake. She thought you'd help. She forged my signature on loan documents. She was desperate. The lake house was perfect for the family. You could have helped her. I've given her $25,000 over the years. None repaid. That was family support, not loans. You weren't supposed to keep track. So I'm supposed to give unlimited money with no expectation of repayment? You have so much, Megan. Lauren and Jason are struggling. They're struggling because they spend money they don't have. That's not my problem. How can you say that? She's your sister. And I'm her aim. There's a difference. Mom's expression turned cold. I didn't raise you to be selfish. Your father and I are very disappointed. You raised me to be convenient. To quietly support everyone while being told I'm not as good as Lauren. Well, I'm done being convenient. If you don't help your sister, you'll tear this family apart. The family was already apart. You just didn't notice because I kept paying to maintain the illusion. I can't believe you've become so cruel. Money has changed you. Money didn't change me. It just revealed who everyone really was. And apparently, I was only valuable when you thought you could take from me. Mom stood up. Your father and I won't stand for this. You either apologize to Lauren and help her, or you're no longer welcome at family events. Then I guess I'm not welcome. Megan. Mom, I own a company worth hundreds of millions. I have a team of 47 people who treat me with respect. I have professional relationships built on mutual value. I don't need a family that only loves me when I'm useful. She stared at me, then turned and walked out without another word. 6 months later, I was reviewing acquisition targets when my assistant buzzed again. There's a young woman here. Says she's your niece? Sophia Chen. Lauren's daughter. 16 years old. I hadn't seen her since the bank incident. Send her in. Sophia entered nervously, clutching a folder. Aunt Megan? I'm sorry to show up without calling. Mom doesn't know I'm here. Sit down. What's going on? I need advice. About college and money. She opened her folder and showed me acceptance letters. I got into 3 schools. But Mom says we can't afford it and I should stay local. Dad says they'll figure it out, but I know they won't. They're always fighting about money. What do you want to do? I want to study finance. Like you. Mom says that's boring and I should do something creative, but I love numbers. I love how they make sense. She looked at me with desperate hope. Is it true what Mom says? That you own banks? I own part of several financial institutions. And I run an investment firm. That's amazing. And you did it yourself. I did. Mom says you abandoned the family. But I don't think that's true. I think maybe you just stopped letting people use you. Smart kid. Your mom committed fraud using my identity. That's why we're not speaking. Sophia nodded. I figured it was something like that. She says you're cruel, but she also says that about anyone who won't give her money. She paused. I don't want to be like her. I want to be like you. Independent. Successful. Free. I looked at this kid who'd somehow seen through the family narrative. Tell me about your college plans, I said. We talked for an hour. I reviewed her acceptance letters, her financial aid packages, her career goals. When we finished, I pulled out my business card. I can't give you money directly. Your parents would find out and cause problems. But I can offer you an internship at Pinnacle. Paid position, summers and part-time during school. It'll cover a significant portion of your tuition. Her eyes went wide. Really? If you want to study finance, you should learn from the best. Consider this an investment in someone who actually appreciates it. He started crying. Thank you. Thank you so much. One condition. You never tell your parents this came from me. As far as they know, you applied and got accepted on your own merit. Deal. That evening I stood in my penthouse apartment, the one I'd bought 6 months ago, the one with views of the entire city, and poured a glass of wine. My phone showed 17 missed calls from Lauren and 4 from Mom. All blocked. But I had a text from Sophia. I already told them about the internship. They think I'm amazing. Thank you for seeing me when they couldn't. I won't let you down. My ownership papers had arrived at exactly the right moment. Their mortgage application had died instantly. And I'd learned that sometimes the best thing you could do was protect your success from people who only valued you when they could exploit you. The family was broken. But maybe it had been broken all along. And maybe that was okay.